Should I schedule my tasks on my calendar? This question comes up a lot for digital entrepreneurs who are trying to get better at improving their productivity. And my short answer is no. But in this video, I'm going to dive in to help you understand why that's not an approach I recommend and the one exception to that rule. Now, what I'm sharing with you today is drawn from the action and execution element of the Freedom Evolution method, which teaches you how to build the backbone system for your business and your life that allows you to take consistent, focused, and effective action every single day. So let's start digging into the 4 reasons not to schedule your tasks directly on your calendar. First, tasks are not appointments. I know many people tell you should be treating them just like appointments with yourself, just like meetings are appointments with others. But I've rarely found that to be effective for most people. Deep down, if we know that it doesn't really matter whether a particular task gets done at 10 a.m. on Tuesday or 2 p.m. on Thursday, but we still schedule it into our calendar like an appointment, then we start feeling like everything on our calendar is up for discussion, debatable, flexible, when some things really aren't. Some things really are commitments, and others are preferences. Blurring the line between appointment commitments and flexible tasks can muddy your mental waters in ways that, over time, become seriously confusing and create unnecessary stress. Reason number 2, let's be honest. Most of us are pretty crappy at estimating how long a task is going to take. We either dramatically underestimate it, thinking, I could knock this out in 20 minutes, and then it actually takes an hour and a half. Or we think something's going to be super hard and take forever, and then we discover that it took about 15 minutes once we got started. When we try to estimate time for tasks and block it into our calendar, then we often see exactly how wrong our guesstimates really are. And that can create feelings of being persistently behind, which honestly is just a bunch of really unhelpful negative mind talk. Additionally, our ability to estimate time accurately often leads to reason number 3, constantly rescheduling tasks. When we underestimate the time needed for a task, then we'll often not get to everything that we scheduled or planned for a particular day. So we start dragging tasks from one day to the next, to the next, and to the next. And this creates a bunch of unnecessary extra work and reinforces that sense of always failing to get our plan for the day done. It's a disempowering pattern that just feels super icky and unhelpful. So why set ourselves up to get stuck in it? Finally, reason number 4. We never establish a strong master list system. When you try to use your calendar as a replacement for a master list system, then it's almost always incomplete and unreliable. Rarely are we writing into our calendar every single task that's on our plate, which means that some tasks are written there and others are still swirling around in our minds, clogging up our attention and memory. Thus, your system is essentially unreliable because our minds don't always churn up that actionable information at the most useful times, do they? You suddenly remember about that errand that you need to run while you're in the shower, but you forget about it by the time you're dressed and ready to head out the door. Then it comes back to you while you're brushing your teeth that evening after the opportunity to get it done has already passed. It's so frustrating sometimes, right? And definitely not sustainable if you want to run a growing business with a team of people to help you. Okay, so having given you a sense of why scheduling all your tasks directly into your calendar has a lot of problems, now let me tell you the one exception to the rule. If you have a project that really needs a large chunk of uninterrupted time, then that project belongs on your calendar. For instance, if you need to spend half of a day or a whole day diving deep onto something and you really want uninterrupted time, then blocking that time directly onto your calendar is a great way to protect it from getting swallowed or broken up by other scheduled appointments. So for instance, if you're doing your seasonal planning time and you want to schedule that as a Big Think retreat day, then that belongs on your calendar. Similarly, there may be certain creative time tasks that you want to block and protect time for as part of your weekly rhythm, your weekly schedule. For instance, I do my writing for these videos on Monday and Thursday mornings typically. So when I started that pattern, I blocked that time directly into my calendar to ensure that it was protected for those tasks because they need a solid block of a couple of hours of time. After doing it that way for many, many months now, I no longer need to block it directly onto the calendar because I simply know Monday and Thursday are my writing mornings. But for all those other random tasks on your plate, what you really need is a solid master list system, which is part of growing a business that's stable and scalable. Now, if you're realizing that this piece hasn't been solid or well developed for your business thus far, maybe it's time to figure out what it would take to stop flying by the seat of your pants quite so much and start learning the skills to truly become the visionary CEO for your company. That's why you'll want to hop on over to chosencourse.com/I want more and dive into the Road to Inspired Action video training series. This 5-part series will show you what it takes to get out of the exhausted entrepreneur trap and start building the systems and productivity skills you need to confidently own your future as the visionary CEO for your growing company. It's time to step it up, freedom lover. You've got this.